Hi friends, it's Mari here for Honeybee Stamps. I'm going to be creating this really pretty A2 rainbow card today using a bunch of Honeybee products. I'm also going to be using an ink stand. These are in the shop. They're fantastic. They have magnetic sides so you can buy more than one and stick them together as you're working. They grip really nicely to my glass mat, and you can just see how they nicely hold the distress inks, the large ink pads. So great. Now I'm also going to be using some blending brushes here today. This is my Honeybee blending brush, and all of my Honeybee brushes are dedicated to oxide inks. So because I don't have a separate set for distress inks, the dye ink, I'm using just a variety of other inks from my stash, a variety of other ink blending brushes from my stash. So I'm going to start off here with a blending brush with some Kitsch Flamingo. I'm blending that ink on. Now I'm blending on some saltwater taffy. Of course, you can see I'm going in rainbow order here and just really loosely blending these colors on because I am going to distress them with a little bit of water, and I'm also going to be covering this with a cover plate. So the blending didn't need to be perfect for this project. So this is some squeezed lemonade now. So you can just see I'm just picking that up with my brush and blending that on. And so just to go back to the blending brushes, I have some brushes dedicated just to dye inks and then a bunch of brushes dedicated to oxides, and I don't mix them together because I don't want to contaminate my dye ink with my oxide ink. So just a little point of, I guess, important information when it comes to your blending brushes and your ink pads. So this is Salvage Patina. You can just see how pretty this is. It's a really nice transition from that yellow into the greens. So I'm going to just mix the yellow and the Salvage Patina together to make a brighter green, and then it goes into the blues. So now I've got some tumbled glass and just really love that color as well. And I'll finish up with a little bit of Dusty Concord. And like I said, I don't really care if this is blotchy or if, it's not a perfect blend. It doesn't have to be for this technique. It can just be kind of a little bit rough. And I do go back with some of the colors and blend them together and do a little bit more blending, but not too much. I didn't spend much time on it at all. And just getting that Dusty Concord on there so you can see that. Now I'm going to just take my distress sprayer. I'm going to just hold it up above my card panel here and just gently spritz lightly. And then I'll just take my microfiber cloth and pick up any of the excess moisture there. And that's just going to give those little distressed water droplets on my panel, which I think looks really cool. This is the Garden Lattice cover plate from Honeybee. I love this. It's awesome. This is the Whimsical Spring Flowers dies. So I'm going to use those two die sets to create the details on my card. I'm going to use my Honeybee precision glue tube here to add some liquid adhesive on the back of my beautiful rainbow card panel here. I'm going to adhere that to a top folding portrait A2 size card base. Just going to go ahead and get that all adhered on there. Now I'm going to add my adhesive again to the Garden Lattice cover plate here, just on all the way around the border, and a few little dots here and there on those inside lattice pieces as well. I'll just take that and add that onto the front of my card here, just making sure that I'm getting that on there straight. Now I've die cut all of those really pretty whimsical spring flowers out of white cardstock, and I didn't, obviously you can see here, add any color to these at all. I just thought they looked really pretty and crisp and nice and white. And you can see that there's lots of little layering pieces with this set, which I think is totally fun. So there's some centers for the florals that you can lay in there, and it just makes the flowers look just even a little bit more dimensional. And I love that about Melissa's dies. She always does something a little bit special with her dies to make them just that much more interesting. And I love how the dies are also embossed so that you can see there's lots of detail on the florals. At least I hope that the video is picking that up. It just makes them look really cool. These would be really fun with some ink blending or out of color cardstock as well. And you can see that I'm laying some of them down flat just with regular liquid adhesive, and then others I'm popping up with a little bit of dimensional adhesive. If you do plan on putting these through the mail, or this type of card through the mail, and you don't want that extra dimension, then that's fine. You could definitely layer all of these pieces together just flat to each other. I just like that little bit of extra pop on the card. I think it just looks really nice. you can just see here, I'm just going ahead and having fun creating the little design for my project. So I wanted a little grouping of florals in the top left corner and another little grouping diagonally in the bottom right corner. And then I plan to put the sentiment in the center. A really simple and easy design, and definitely a go-to design for me. I think I've used this design like a ton of times before, but it just looks really fun, and you can use this design with so many different elements and so many different types of cards. So you can just see I'm finishing up here. I'm going to add some of the foliage around each edge of these little floral groupings, and I'm going to show you here when it's all finished up in this next clip. You can see how that looks so nice. This is the Bitty Buzzwords Bloom Stamp and Coordinating Die Set. Really, really perfect for creating sentiments. I love the ability to layer the background and the scripty words together, and the tiny little text that you can add in with that. So I'm going to take this Bitty Buzzword here, and I'm going to glue these different black layers together. So I cut the scripty U out 3 times from black cardstock, and I'm going to go ahead and layer those onto the outline in white, which is really going to make the word U pop on the card. I think that looks really cool, and I'm just going to use my honeybee tweezers here to hold the piece while I just dab little tiny dots of glue. You don't need much glue at all on these, and then I'll layer these all together, and we'll get a really nice dimensional frieze for the front of our card. And I'll just place that on there, and just wherever there's just a little bit of excess glue oozing out, I'll just scrape that with my tweezers in that way. Love these tweezers so much. They're one of my most used tools when I'm making cards, and yeah, they're just really crucial for me in my making process when I'm creating. So here you can just see how nice and dimensional that's going to be for our card front. Just really like that black on the white, and I'm just going to finish that up, making sure it's all in place. I'm going to add a little bit of liquid adhesive on the back, and then I will go ahead and apply that onto that center area there of the card that I've left for the sentiment. I think this is just a really pretty, happy card, really nice for spring for sure, and summer as well, or really any season, because I feel like rainbows are universal to any season just because they're so happy. And then I'm going to put the little Miss sentiment above that, and I've popped that up on a little bit of foam adhesive. So there's your sentiment for the front of the card, Miss You. And now I wanted to embellish the centers of all of the flowers with some gem stickers. This is the rainbow gem stickers set, which is gorgeous, and I'm going to put the lower colors on the rainbow up top, and then the higher, like the top layers of the rainbow colors on the bottom and the centers of the flowers. You can just see that I'm just using my craft knife here to take those off of the plastic sheet and get those applied to the centers of my sweet little flowers. And that's going to finish off my card today. I did link up, friends, to all of the different products that I used in the description box below. This is my finished card, and make sure that you check out Honeybee Stamps tonight for the brand new Birthday Bliss release. And I do have a video going live scheduled for tonight after the release goes live, so you can check that out too here on YouTube. Have an amazing day, friends. I'll see you soon.